welcome back to my channel. For those of you guys returning, if you are just joining me, my name is Nyla and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to touch a little bit on self-care because it is something that's really important to me and something that I've been working on, but I also want it to be important to everybody else, especially while we're in this quarantine time. I want you guys to be thinking about it and working on it if you can, if it permits. So I wanted to just talk about what self-care is and give you guys a sense of a definition for it, and then I wanted to debunk a few myths about self-care that I have heard, but also I wanted to follow up by giving you guys a few tips and suggestions for things you can do if you want to practice self-care. So let's get started. The first thing is a definition. So it can loosely be described as actions one takes or activities one partakes in to promote a sense of self-wellness, healthiness, happiness, feelings of rejuvenation, and feeling refilled and restored. So it's one of those things you want to incorporate into your, if not daily, then weekly life. It just gives you a sense of you time and helps you to feel better with all of the crazy stress going on. Yeah, that's it. So let's just get into the myths because I really want to break these down and get these out of here. The first one is that self-care is just indulgence, and that's not true. Self-care is not you just pick one thing and you just throw yourself into it and immerse yourself into it and just hope that it like your problems go away or your stress goes away. Like you don't just do it blindly. When you practice self-care, you make mindful decisions and you intentionally do it. It's like you're making calculated moves. You don't just do something all willy-nilly and hope that it works. You want to go in with an intention of what you want to get out of self-care, and you want to make mindful choices and decisions for what activities you want to do. And you want to pick something that you think will work and that you know will work. You don't just want to pick something like, oh, well, I've seen people do it. No. You want to pick something that you think will help you feel better. And if it does, you want to do it, you know. You want to go in with the right mindset and what you want to get out of the self-care. Okay? Number two, I've been hearing that self-care is selfish. Now this one can really go either way, but in my book it can go either way, but I'm just going to break it down a little bit. So I say that it can be selfish, but not with a negative connotation. Because we often think of selfish as like, oh, I'm just going to care about myself and I'm not going to worry about anybody else. But when you talk about self-care, it is about yourself. So you have to kind of have a little bit of selfishness about you when practicing self-care, but you don't want to have it all the time, because then you're just going to be, you're just going to be a bad person if you're just constantly selfish and focusing on yourself all the time. But when it comes to self-care, you have to put yourself first. Time and time, like not all the time, from time to time, you have to put yourself first. And then you could say that it's not selfish because, especially if you're a helping professional or someone that deals with people, you take a lot of things on. You carry a lot of stress and what they say and what you hear and what you see. So in order for you to help them properly, you have to help yourself first. So in a sense, it's not selfish because you're doing it to help other people and to do the best job that you can and to be the best you can. But at the same time, it is a little selfish because you have to make time for yourself. You have to put yourself first in order to be the best that you can for others, if that makes sense. The third thing is that self-care is a one-time thing. No, self-care is an ongoing thing. It's a constant thing. It should be something that you are constantly practicing. It's not just, well, I feel stressed, so I'm gonna go take a bubble bath one day. No, because as long as there's stress, there needs to be self-care. And there will always be stress, so there always needs to be self-care practice. It doesn't have to be the same thing practiced all the time, but there needs to be some sort of practicing of self-care, because when you practice it and you constantly practice it, it helps to kind of build up a resistance to the stress and like a sense of resilience to the stress. And like I said, there will always be stress, so you need to find ways to deal with that stress. And then the fourth myth is that it's time consuming. It is absolutely not time consuming. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. If you want to practice a breathing exercise for 5 minutes, if you want to go on a 15-minute walk, if you want to cook a meal, that could range in time. It's not like a one size fits all. Like, you have to figure out what you want to do, and deciding, depending on what you want to do, it can be however long you need it to be. It's not necessarily one, like I said, one size fits all. Like, different activities take different times, and it's not time consuming. If you I'm going to give you guys this tip. If you put it into your schedule and you already know ahead of time, rather than trying to figure out when I have time to manage self-care, then it's not going to seem like it's a lot, and it's not going to seem time consuming to you. And the last myth is that it's just bubble baths and face masks, because it's not. It can be, and I'm not knocking anybody that does bubble baths and face masks as their self-care, but it's not the only sense of self-care. There are so many different avenues you could go with self-care. There's mental self-care, physical self-care, emotional, spiritual, those things. Like, you could just, it's a broad area. It's not just bubble baths and face masks. You could do so many things, which leads me into my next part, where I'm going to give you guys a few tips and suggestions for things that you can do. I have a whole list written down. I might not get to all of them, but if you guys do want some more, just let me know. Before I go into the list, I want to break it down as what I have my list as. So I like to look at self-care. This is just me. I don't know if other people do it this way, but I like to look at self-care as positive self-care and negative self-care. Positive, it's not like something's good and something's bad. Positive means something that's being added to your daily life or your self-care routine. And negative is something that's being taken away from your daily life and routine. Got it? Okay. So now I'm getting into the list. The positive things, like I said, can be added to your life. So prayer, meditation, reading the Bible, talking to God, exercise, if you want to walk or run or get on the treadmill, go to the gym, things like that. Setting goals for yourself. Working on nutrition is really good if you want to eat healthy, take something away. Like for me, I've been cutting back on my red meat eating, because I don't really eat it, and two, it's not the best for you. So I've been cutting back on it. I've been trying to cut back on starch, but that is not working well. Sleep is really, really good for you. I know we often don't think of it as something that's like self-care, but it really is, because if you're not rested and not feeling well and have to do something, you're not going to do it to the fullest of your ability, and you're not going to really be any good to anybody if you are not rested and have gotten enough sleep. So practice getting enough sleep. It's that simple. Next would be mini vacations. I personally love to go on vacation, so that is not a problem for me, but a lot of people often work themselves really, 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 really hard and don't take time to take a vacation. So if you need to take a day vacation, a weekend, a week, do it. If it's a mountain trip, like you can drive to, islands, beach, wherever you need to go, do it and take that vacation time, because you're not going to be doing yourself any good not relaxing and seeing the world and just working and working and working. You need a break. Okay? Face and hair masks are really good things to do. They're really good for you. Helps your skin, helps your hair, those kinds of things. Get your nails done. What else? Taking time to self-reflect is really, really good. We often don't take that time to really think about how we're thinking and how we're feeling and why we do the things we do, and we just do. So taking that time to figure yourself out is a really, really, really good thing, and I cannot stress that enough. Please take time to self-reflect. Journal and reading are both really good things to do. Journaling, you could use it as like a daily journal, weekly journal, a mood journal to keep track of your moods, a food journal to keep track of your foods if you're trying to lose weight. Things like that. Just writing things down and making it plain and in sight for you are both really good. And reading is also really good because it feeds your brain and it helps you to learn new things. Just read anything. Just reading is really good for you. I've been trying to read outside of school reading. Hasn't been working, but I've been trying, so just keep trying until it works. Cooking is really, really good. That's something I said I love to do. So just finding new things to cook and finding new recipes and new ways to do things you've done before, that's all really good, and it adds to your repertoire of recipes and skills you have. One thing that's also really important is having a good support system. If you are not feeling well and you don't have anyone to vent to or someone to go to for advice, it won't do you any good. So you need to find people that you trust and that you trust with your feelings and that you know won't judge you or know won't make you feel bad. This is where therapy comes in. You can have a therapist. Therapy is good for you. People often think, well, I'm not crazy, I don't need to go to therapy. You don't have to be crazy to want to be better. It's just plain and simple. You can just go to your therapist to just talk. That is it. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to have a diagnosis, or you don't have to have schizophrenia to go see a therapist. Like, you just want to be better. You just want to be better. Be a better person, be a better you, figure out why you do the things you do. It's that simple. And then these last two go really, really hand in hand. Well, one of them kind of goes with the self-reflect, but allow yourself to feel your feelings. Don't negate what you're feeling and say that, oh, I'm crazy. No. If you feel a certain way, you feel a certain way. Figure out why you feel that way. Allow yourself to feel that way, then figure out ways to get over those feelings or work through those feelings. And then the last one is positive self-talk. A lot of people often talk down on themselves, or they don't see the importance of positive self-talk or positive affirmations, but they're really, really helpful because the things that you tell yourself are the things that you believe about yourself. And if you're telling yourself negative things, you're going to be unhappy with yourself. So you have to talk positive. You have to speak power and life into yourself. One thing that's really cool you can do is post sticky notes or positive sayings around your room. I did that when I was in school. I had just random sayings that I thought were inspirational, and I had scriptures around, I had quotes, just things of that nature that you see every day and it reminds you. I even had one telling me to drink water because I'm really bad at drinking water and remembering. So just things like that help you remember and help you feel good and give you a sense of positivity. Now for the negative one, the list is a little bit shorter, but one thing you can start by taking away are electronics. Unplug. It's okay to unplug. We are so glued to our electronics, whether it be our laptops, computers, TVs, phones, tablets, PlayStations, game consoles, anything. We're too connected. We need to unplug and take some time and just be in the real world. That's number one. Number two is learn to say no. There's so many people, I want to help this person, I want to help this person, I want to help this person. It's okay to say no. You don't have to do everything all the time for everybody. You can say no. Learn to say no. It'll be a good tool in your tool belt if you learn to say the word no. But don't always just say no just because you want to say no. That's another conversation. The next one is take on less responsibilities. It's okay to do less things. You don't have to have your hands in 15 different pots if you don't want to. You can say no. If somebody always comes to you to ask you for something, you can say no. They will find a way to do it without you if it's really important to them. You don't have to be everybody's go-to person. You can say no. You don't have to be in, like I said, 15, 12 different things. 3 is fine. 6 is fine. You don't have to do everything right now. Next one is try to reduce overwhelming situations. I know that one's kind of a little on the harder side, but try to reduce things. If you feel yourself being overwhelmed, or if you know that you get overwhelmed in this particular situation with this particular person, cut it off. Work on it. Figure out ways to, if you want to work on your feelings of feeling overwhelmed, and if not, if you want to let go of that person, do it. That brings me to my last one, is dead old relationships, or dead relationships that are negative and don't bring anything. Nothing is growing from that, because it's not going to do you any well to have a relationship that is not growing and that is stagnant. People change, relationships change, life changes. If the relationship doesn't serve you anymore, it's okay to let it go. That's just putting yourself first and practicing self-care. Well, I don't want to let this relationship go because I've known them for so long. History doesn't matter sometimes. If they are draining you, And if you want to let go, then let go. It's okay. But I will say this, don't just let go and not let them know. Don't just dead the relationship and ghost them, because there's a way to do things with decency and order, and that is not it. If you want to stop communicating to someone, do it properly. Properly communicate to them why you're feeling the way you feel and why you need to take a step back from them. That's all you have to do. You don't just ghost them and then leave them wondering, well, I haven't heard from this person in a while. I wonder what happened, blah, 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 blah. Because there are repercussions to your actions. Yes, you're doing it for self-care, but there's a way to go about self-care that helps everybody, in that particular situation. But that's a conversation for another day. But those are my negative self-care tactics and strategies if you want to practice that. But all in all, I really just want everybody to practice self-care. I want everybody to try to think about it and to try to do it. I want you guys to be constantly thinking of things that you can work on as a person and take the time to do it. Set time aside for you. Like I said earlier, schedule it into your daily, your schedule or your weekly schedule. Write it down so that it's concrete and that you're not, oh, well, I kind of have 15 minutes here. Let me do something. Plan it out. If it's on the schedule, it'll get done. If it's not, you won't think about it. Okay, hopefully this was helpful. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything of that nature, let me know. Don't be afraid to leave a comment or reach out to me on my social media pages. Let me know if you like this video, like and subscribe. Make sure you share it with all of your friends. And yeah, if you have anything, any kind of topic you want me to touch on within any realm, let me know. I will look into it for you and I will let you know if I can do it. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys are staying healthy and safe and social distanced during this quarantine time. And I will see you guys next time. Stay safe.